fast forward a few years, I'm 17 years old. The Toronto Star had a wrestling column every weekend, and they, in the column, said, if you want to be a wrestler, write in an essay. Tell us why you want to be a wrestler. So I wrote in, and my essay got chosen, and I got my wrestling training for free, which was very helpful because I couldn't afford it. So.
I'm WWE superstar Samoa Joe. Nowadays, earning success and longevity in this business as a WWE superstar is harder than ever. To truly become one of the greats takes years of hard work and the ability to turn heads of audiences all over the world. I'll be spending a few minutes with WWE superstars and legends across multiple generations to talk about the personal journeys of grit and determination that make each one of them standouts in the world of sports entertainment today. Welcome to WWE Grit and Glory, presented by Chevy Silverado. True grit is often personified by high levels of passion and perseverance. So today we're going to sit down with Edge, WWE Hall of Famer, and a man who has defied odds, expectations, and limits, all the while blazing his own path and doing things his own way. In fact, those high levels of passion and perseverance have led him to win multiple WWE championships and most recently becoming the winner of the 2021 Royal Rumble match and giving himself the opportunity to finish his career on his terms.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, man.
Doing well, are you?
I'm doing very well. Good to see you. Good to see you, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, Edge, first off, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. You know, I think like a lot of superstars, we've had this long-time love affair with WWE. Mm-hmm. So give us an insight into your first experience with WWE, the first time that you saw the show live, and when Edge became a part of the WWE universe.
My first recollection of WWE was right in that rock and wrestling era. So it's, Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Paul Orndorff, like that whole pocket. And I remember just thinking to myself, I love comic books, right? But I can't go like smack the Incredible Hulk on the chest and go, good job, because he's not real. But I could go to Maple Leaf Gardens and possibly shake hands with Hulk Hogan. That was a game changer to me. And that's when it took hold. I think I was like 9 years old. And from that point forward, I said that is what I was going to do. Fast forward till 92, and then I started doing it as a kid still in high school, and then eventually kind of worked my way up after, in retrospect, a short time. I got here in like 5 years to the WWE, yeah.
Well, and in relatively a quick amount of time, but over that course of 5 years, you have to admit there were times where, it was much more difficult than anybody could have ever anticipated, especially on the road to becoming a WWE superstar. So, give us a little bit of a look into what those 5 years look like for a young man who has fallen desperately in love with something that he wants to do with the rest of his life, and now here he is on his journey.
So I found myself with a group of other guys. We ended up doing these tours through northern Manitoba to these native reservations.
Now I've done a few of these tours. These are not hospitable. No. Weather-wise, the people wonderful.
They're great.
But weather-wise and as far as where they are located, very very inhospitable conditions to be traveling in.
I wish we had one of these. Because we were in one of those white cargo vans, and it's cold when there's frost on the inside that thick, and you're chipping it on the inside just so you can see out. Yeah. Minus 72 Celsius was the coldest that we encountered, and they said 30 seconds of exposure and you have frostbite. Now, this was my first tour up there, so I'm wearing steel-toed combat boots. Yeah. I'm wearing I'm in my full grunge phase, so I got a flannel and combat shorts and long underwear, thinking I'm Eddie Vedder. And I got up there and I had no idea what I was in for. All of that being said, driving across frozen lakes that sometimes weren't all the way frozen, all of those experiences, I wouldn't trade them, because they really helped kind of shape what I needed to have in my tool belt going forward once I got to the WWE, because I needed to be prepared for anything.
Oh, look at Edge! Oh, my God! Edge for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy! For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken! Smack dab in half!
So your fate is sealed. You've made the commitment, I'm going to be a WWE superstar. Now, naturally, the next question is, how did Mom feel about that?
So here's what was amazing about my mom is that she never even blinked. She just said, "We'll do it." And I think she just saw the effect it had on me. And the positive effect it had on me, because having kids now, I see if my kids have something that they attach to like that and they attach a dream to that, who am I to deny that? I have to foster that. I have to water that. And it may change. And if it does, great. Then we water whatever the next thing is. If they want to play guitar or play piano or be a wrestler. But for me, it was one thing and one thing only. And I think she really understood that. She just got it. Whether it was a look in my eye, whether it was just my complete obsession with it. I don't know what it was, but she was right from the jump. She said, "Well, you just do it." And so when, fast forward a few years, I'm 17 years old. The Toronto Star had a wrestling column every weekend, and they, in the column, said, "If you want to be a wrestler, write in an essay. Tell us why you want to be a wrestler." So I wrote in, and my essay got chosen, and I got my wrestling training for free, which was very helpful because I couldn't afford it. So, and again, I had to get my grandpa to drive me down and drop me off, and he'd go grab a coffee, and then he'd come back and pick me up, and then eventually I saved up enough to get a car, and then I drove down, and that was really the beginning of the whole thing. And it was this place called Sully's Gym, which is straight out of Rocky One. I picture Stallone with that squash ball walking in this gym. This place just smelled like jock straps.
I find most prolific grapplers usually come from a pretty dingy, pretty bad gym. Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's almost a prerequisite.
Yeah. And it was this boxing gym, so it was a boxing ring that we trained in. It was like concrete. It was 12 by 14. You'd hit two sides of the ropes and into the wall. There was just dents of body parts. It was like Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Ali had trained there at one point, so I mean, it had that feel, you know.
Earlier I'd mentioned that you were known for your passion and perseverance, and that passion and perseverance led you to your first WWE championship. How big of an accomplishment is that for an athlete?
I think it's what we all set out to do. If we get into this industry, this business, this form of entertainment, that's the pinnacle, right? That's the Oscar, that's the Emmy, that's the Tony, whatever analogy you want to draw. That's the mountaintop. And you like to think it's going to happen, but you don't ever know. With this business, you just don't know. You don't know until it's actually happening if this thing's going to happen. You can have all the best laid plans, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. So to have that happen, even if it was just initially for 3 weeks and it might never happen again, at least it happened. But that wasn't my goal. My goal was I'm going to make it happen a lot more, and I'm going to solidify this thing.
Now, touching back on things that are unexpected, things that you can't plan for. In 2011, you were forced to step away from the ring because of a very, very serious injury.
I've been losing feeling in my arms. So I passed strength tests and all of those things, and I made it through WrestleMania. But the WWE wanted me to go get more tests, and thankfully I did, because the MRIs showed that I have to retire.
And through that time, you had to persevere. You had to have the intestinal fortitude to be able to stop yourself, which is something that you probably never had to do in your entire life. How difficult is it to deal with all those emotions, to kind of put them all together and continue to keep going forward?
The interesting thing about my scenario was I was told I don't have a choice. So that, in a way, made it easier. I didn't have to sit on the fence and go, okay, do I have any more left? No, you are not cleared to do this anymore. What comes with that, though, is you have to pretty quickly wrap your mind around this thing. This idea that this thing that you've wanted to do your entire life, and the only thing you've known your entire adult life, is now gone. There's an emotional fallout from that. And I can look back now and realize that. At the time, I thought I dealt with it in pretty healthy regard. I started acting, and I started doing some things, and got married and had kids, and life was great. But as I started facing other challenges in life and getting through them and feeling good, there's that little burning sensation back there. I was like, if I can do this, why can't I do that? And that's when the question marks started bouncing around my frontal lobe again. And I went, okay.
That's where the initial sparks began to start burning.
That's when I went, okay, I got to at least find out. It's been 9 years. I've had a second neck surgery, so now I got a triple fusion in there. Let me see, just to find out, even for everyday life, what do I need to avoid? You know, because I'm wiping out in mountain bikes, I'm doing fight scenes in Vikings, and they're pretty physical, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, I need to know. And then little by little, I started realizing that my neck, for me, is in pretty good shape. Now,
For you.
For me.
The operative term.
Yes. But then those rusty gears started moving again, and then they started getting lubed, and then here we are. I can do this thing again. And it was a ton of work. You know, it just, once I got a sniff that this thing was possible, man, I got my butt in there and just kept moving and grinding to get to this point again. I learned that all of this I really need to savor, because what that was a reminder, like, that everyone could be the last one. So every aspect of this, whether it's talking to guys in the locker room, whether it's talking to you now, whether it's getting in that ring just to cut a promo, whatever aspect of this that I do, I appreciate it. And before, I had the blinders on, you know, because you get in that pocket of just get through to the next day. Now I'm sitting in the pocket of this thing and enjoying every second of this day.
Edge, thank you for being here. I'm Samoa Joe, and thank you for joining us on WWE Grit Glory, presented by Chevy Silverado.